Hello everyone and welcome to my channel, and today I'll be reading Multi-Character Listener by me, so let's get into it. Kazuha. It was an accident, a complete and utter accident, and yet it did not prevent it from becoming a disaster. He would be rushing you to the hospital, and he would be extremely worried, even though he tried your absolute best to stay calm. He would be doing his best too, but it wasn't easily something he could hide, so you'd be seeing that worry and concern until he got to the doctor, who assured him that it would be nothing to worry about in a matter of a few days, and he just needed some rest and to take care of it. And Kaza took the liberty of taking care of you and carrying you all the way home, since it was your leg that was burned. Honestly, he treated you like a princess the entire time, not wanting anything bad to happen to you. Albedo. Now, Albedo would actually be very worried, but he would be able to keep his cool, and most importantly, he will know how to treat it. He may not officially be a doctor, but he's really good at this. Not to mention, he's had 500 years, and at least 480 to be able to study most of the things, so I doubt any other human doctor would be more qualified anyway. And thankfully, he does end up taking care of you very well. And in the end, he takes you to Barbara, just to heal it up a little bit. Though she cannot fully heal the burn away, it does lessen the pain, thankfully. And he does end up kissing you a lot, trying to make up for the burn that he ended up causing during an experiment. He's honestly just happened that you weren't upset with him. Venti. No, Venti actually didn't mean this, but he was a little bit tipsy, and he was holding a hot drink, since you told him it would probably be a better idea to drink something that was actually good for him, instead of just wine, and he had tried to listen, but instead he ended up spilling it on your leg, and you were crying. He tried his absolute best to soothe you, and thankfully, with some help from the people in the tavern, they were able to cool off your burn. But Venti was extremely guilty the entire time, and you could see it, even if he didn't say anything about it. He lifted you up with the wind as he took you home, and the rest was just him cuddling you and staying up to make sure every need you had was obliged. He didn't want you to be upset, and honestly would give anything just to make sure you feel better again. Scaramouche. Now, Scaramouche would be extremely guilty, even though it was very well an accident. He would be crying as he apologized to you, promising you he didn't mean it, only for you to tell him that he needed to calm down right now and get you something to help, which he immediately did. He even took you to a doctor and made sure that you are alright, just for the sake of it, and even though it was not a very bad burn, he just wanted to be at rest and know that you were not going to get an infection or something. He didn't want to worry about that. In the end, he wrapped his arms around you and started hugging you, crying to the creak of your neck, while you just held him gently, comforting him, and telling him that he didn't really mean to do this, and therefore shouldn't have to feel guilty, and that you're really not mad at him. He just needs some reassurance. He doesn't mean to be a burden to you. Tighnari. Now, Tighnari actually would know how to deal with this. It was just some silly mistake. He knocked over something and it fell on you, and that's how it happened. He would tell you to stay calm, and he would treat it. And honestly, he was so gentle and so loving in the treatment, and he would even lean up to give you kisses when they were hurt, reassuring you that it would all be fine in the end, and there was no reason for you to cry. He would then hold you in his arms and make you something sweet to eat, just to get your mind off of it, since he knew that burns could really hurt a lot. and he didn't want you to focus on the pain, much less feel upset by the fact that you couldn't move. So for now, he was going to do his absolute best to distract you from the current situation. Xiao? Now, Xiao would feel absolutely guilty, but he would say nothing. Absolutely. He would feel like he was frozen, but he would deal with it quickly, teleporting you to a doctor and making sure that you were getting the treatment that you needed. He would feel very anxious, and honestly, he would want you to hit him, to react in any way. But he couldn't blame you for being so kind. However, he wouldn't think you deserved your forgiveness or kindness, especially when he was the one who caused you to be in pain. He does apologize. A lot. And I really mean it. Like, get on his knees and apologize. But you would do your absolute best to reassure him that it really wasn't that bad, and in a matter of a week, it would all be forgotten. But he still thinks it's a week too long, and honestly, he can't help but feel the guilt swell up inside of him, no matter how much you try to reassure him otherwise. Hopefully, though, with your jokes and the way you try to make light of the situation, he does end up forgetting in the end. Childe would feel so guilty, but he would immediately use his powers to cool down the burn, and all while apologizing to you. I'm really sorry, Wan. I didn't mean it. I promise you, he would say over and over. But since you were really in pain, you couldn't kind of try and comfort him until it all cooled down, and you were able to process the situation a little bit. Then you told him that it really wasn't that awful, and you would almost forget about the pain. You just need some antibiotics and something, perhaps painkillers, just so it wouldn't keep hurting you so much. And in a flash, you would end up getting everything you needed, and a doctor as well. The doctor was literally walking up from bed and dragged all the way to your apartment, because Childe was not going to let anything happen to you. And if the doctor had to be dragged in here and threatened a little bit, then it was fine. All he had to do was to ensure that you were going to be okay, and try to recover from this. He honestly felt guilty since this was his mistake, but hopefully he can make it up to you some way. In the end, he also does end up getting you a very expensive gift. He really does love you, and he's truly the sweetest boyfriend.